how to heal diseases. When we talk about that lesson, I also have to tell the students that we must practice diligently. You have to practice seriously, practice a little. Then you will be able to mobilize this energy. Once you can mobilize the energy will be able to enter your body. And once the energy flows, your illness will be healed. You will be healthy. Let me tell you that this is our Zhi Neng Qigong, the second characteristic. Our practice is special. It is not a common practice. It is from our dear and crane Qigong tradition, from many of our masters. The practice experience, the secrets of the practice. And these secrets we have, in our practice, organized, improved, more suitable for us to maintain health, heal diseases. Student must have this understanding of our practice. It is different from common practices. The third characteristic. This is a special characteristic of our health practice. Special characteristic it is the combined use of three transmissions. Combined use of three transmissions. Because after talking about the second characteristic, perhaps some of our classmates will wonder. About my illness, I don't like to move. It is not easy for me to practice. In addition, some family members, I bring a child with me. The child still does not know how to practice. What do? We come here to heal illnesses. What do? Because there are many people who do not know how to practice, and there are many children. After coming to the center, the illness is also healed. Why is that? That is the special feature of our practice transmission, the combined use of the three transmissions, the combined use of the three transmissions. This combined use of the three transmissions is the transmission through action, words, and heart. Transmission through action is when the teacher explains the movements, making it possible for our students to practice according to the requirements of the physical movements. By expressing the requirements of the physical movements, the teacher teaches from the form, enabling the students to practice from the form. Transmission through action is when the teacher demonstrates the physical movements, clearly explaining the key points of the movements, allowing the students to master the movements and perform them correctly. You come to practice. Practicing from the form. Practicing from the form. As I mentioned before, our Zhi Neng Qigong is very special. Everything is essence, therefore, if you can, practice according to the requirements of this practice. Practice according to the movements, and perform the movements correctly. Then the qi will flow, and the illness will be healed. Let's both practice the exercise of expanding qi in a circle. It is very simple. Expand, 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 expand. This is how the hands begin to move quickly. If there is someone who really wants to do it, and their physical condition allows it, and you have time, try an experiment. Let everyone do this movement. Expand, 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 expand. You don't need to expand a lot. But if you can do it for 2 hours to see, observe if there is any change in your body. Just with this expansion movement, at first the hands, see. After a long time of expanding, then the arms, from the arms, expand, expand, expand. It has to come from within the body, expand, expand. The whole body follows the movement, if you don't practice seriously. If you don't really put effort into the practice, you won't be able to understand it. If you truly practice, you spread qi throughout your entire body. It's not just moving the hands, nor just moving the arms. Eventually, the entire trunk and even the qi of the feet move. The qi of the whole body can flow. It can flow. Speaking of this exercise, I had already explained it to the teachers before, but not to the students. Today means that I have clearly explained to our dance students the specialty of our movements. Taking this trunk expanding exercise, everyone can understand and grasp it well. If our students really want to practice Peng Qi Guan Ding Fa in the future, the movements you make are very standard. You do it very well, you have good movements. In each movement as well, the qi is felt very clearly. We have many techniques for attracting qi. Just relax your fingers a little and stretch them. Within that, the sensation of qi is also very clear. That is the idea. That is why we talk about transmission through practice, those of us who can perform the movements. I think we should persist in practicing on our own and train according to the requirements of the movements. correct posture can guide qi to flow normally. It can regulate our qi a bit, make it more normal. Then these movements and postures can make our qi return to normal. They can help our qi flow better. They can allow external qi to enter our body, to serve our own health. That's why when you come to the practice center, why do we emphasize that students must practice diligently? That is the reason. After practicing through the movements, you help the qi and blood in your body to flow. You help internal and external qi to flow. Permeability increases. We talk about it in the open love theory that some students are not sensitive. You have to become sensitive through practice, that is the reason. Then these movements can cause qi to change. And this chain is not an ordinary chain, but a change according to the requirements of Zhi Neng Qigong. Our large qi field of Zhi Neng Qigong, the large qi field of Zhi Neng Qigong at the national level, is that Zhi Neng Qigong qi. The qi field of the heart. Of course, within this qi, as we mentioned the red smoke qi, there is also yishi, that yishi is called practice protection in the future. After discussing the use of yishi, we will no longer give the ocean path classes, as before everything will be included within yishi. This yishi, if you have the idea of practice protection, controls a qi, like that great energy field. When you practice Zhi Neng Qigong doing movements, doing physical forms, you can harmonize the qi of your body with the qi of the great practice field. The more people practice, the greater the impact on the outside. The external energy field becomes larger, and in turn it also affects us. So practice well for yourself. Some classmates, when sharing typical experiences, say, I practice diligently. I practice on my own. And thus the good illnesses are healed, even very serious illnesses are healed. Where is the reason then? The principle is right here. Practicing improves the circulation of our qi. Practicing connects the qi of our body with the qi of the great practice field. This is why in Zhi Neng Qigong, we must pay attention to the transmission of the physical form. The physical form follows the movements demonstrated by the teacher. Above, the teacher explains. He explains the key points of the movements. At the same time, he also explains what function those movements have. Why is it explained this way? It is so that everyone can master the movements well, so that you can practice well. First, the transmission of the physical form, you just need to do the posture correctly, and the qi will begin to work. Second, oral transmission. In oral transmission, you need to talk about the theory of Zhi Neng Qigong, the logic of Zhi Neng Qigong. So in oral transmission, there are two important aspects. On one hand, you need to talk about the key points of the movements. It's not that the teacher is up there doing the movements, like this or like that. In the past, when teachers taught their disciples, most teachers did this. They show you a posture, look here, don't you see? You say it, now do it yourself. If you do it wrong, the teacher says it's not right. Look how I do it like this. I demonstrate like this, try to do it the same way. Even so, it's still not right. I demonstrate again like this. How can it be correct? The teacher doesn't explain it to you. You have to realize it by yourself. They let you discover it on your own. Oh, this is problematic for me. With such a big embrace, they leave you confused and dizzy. You can't realize anything. You can only keep hugging along. With that embrace, they cover everything and confuse you. You don't know anything. Some smart students. See how the teacher demonstrates like this. Has the teacher seen it? Teacher, I'll look at it a little more. Look at it a little more. How is the essence of the movement explained? It isn't explained in much detail, but if it were explained, it would be a very simplistic transmission. In our political and military work, we don't transmit in that way. When transmitting, the teacher performs the movements well, make a standard movement. What is required in the movement? The arms must be straight, they must be level. What about the hands and the body? Explain the reason clearly, clear logic. The reasons explained here are based on practice. Speaking of that situation, it cannot be said to be merely oral transmission. Oral transmission must be combined with practice. Speaking of this movement, why is it done this way? What effect can it have? What result can it achieve? Of course, not everything is explained all at once. In the nursing department, sometimes the time is too short. These topics perhaps cannot be explained in such detail, but everything is in our books. Oral transmission explains the theory. So when we talk about this oral transmission, we explain these reasons to you so that you can understand from the theoretical perspective. Once you understand it from the theory, it is different. Previously, it was called illumination. What is illumination? Illumination is understanding the reason. Before, it wasn't explained this way. Through your own reflection and practical Qigong experience, you understood it. That's how it worked. Once you understand the logic, that is called having achieved comprehension. You have understood the logic. With that logic, you return to practicing Qigong. This is what the ancients meant by understand before cultivating the Tao. When you understand the logic, you practice Qigong with that logic. Practicing Qigong and developing abilities will be much faster. But if you don't understand the logic and practice this way, that is called practicing blindly and without direction. If you just practice for the sake of practicing, will it work? It will work, but it will take a very long time. A very long time for it to work. By fully relying on physical practice, practicing the body, until the whole body is in harmony. Once the body is in harmony, and finally your mind is also in harmony, your mind and spirit are also strengthened, and your entire being becomes healthy. That kind of practice is too slow. Through Qigong practice, you understand the logic. That is, through Qigong practice, your mind becomes sharper and transforms, your body achieves harmony, and that is the result obtained, the experience acquired. Now we simply take the practice experiences of our teachers, summarize them, and tell everyone how to practice a technique, what logic is behind it, so that you can understand these logics in your mind. After understanding these principles, if you practice Qigong following these principles, as they say, humans are in the Qi is within me. Attracting Qi to open and close, activating vital Qi, intention guides, all of these are principles. Teaching these principles to students so that they practice Qigong following this correct theory. That is called practicing under the guidance of a correct theory. That is practice. The second point is that there is both the function of the physical form in practice and the dominant role of our intention. Earlier we talked about how intention can guide Hun Yuan Qi, but how exactly does it guide it? When it comes to healing illnesses, you can directly think about that Qi going to that illness and eliminating it. Eliminated. That is intention guiding Qi. When we practice Qigong, following the correct theory, to guide our practice, this is already indirectly using intention to guide Qi. Because there is theory, just thinking about it according to the theory, the Qi inside the body will change our physical form. A movement of exercise will also change. Just thinking that the arm will move. The arms and legs also move. When they move, the internal Qi flows. In the future, our fellow practitioners, when experiencing the practice, and after having progressed, will become more sensitive, just moving the hand like this, and pushing slowly. You will feel something inside. It starts to take effect. As soon as you say it, it already has an effect. If you haven't studied the theory, because these sensations are very subtle, you won't notice them at first. But if you have this theory, when pushing, while thinking of directing it toward the horizon, the Qi will come out. And then when you gather it back into the body, the Qi will enter. With this kind of thinking, this kind of explanation, once you understand the theory, the teacher has already taught you all the theory. If you experience it in this way when gathering, you will feel that inside, it enters again. Why is that so? Because in your mind, you already have that understanding as a foundation. That experience will be much deeper. That is why we explain the theory to everyone. It is called explanation. It is so that you understand we practice our Zhi Neng Qigong. How does it work? Why does it work? We have to resolve these questions. Physical Qigong practice, this type of physical form, causes the body to passively experience changes in qi and blood. The study of the theory allows your consciousness, yishi, to master the changes in our qi and blood. So with these two elements, the changes inside the body happen more quickly. This also tells everyone that some people, our physical movements, can be very uncomfortable. If your physical form does not move, then we often let a teacher explain how to think this way. That also works. But these issues, you have to take them seriously. In the previous 2 sessions, we had a student who gave a typical speech. He is our classmate named Zhu Neng. Originally, he could not move his lower limbs, high-level paralysis. He only understood the theory. Isn't it the same as thinking like us? That's right. The teacher explained the theory through the mouth of the boat. He explained the theory, he accepted this theory. Then he used this theory, and with the theory, he began to think this way. His illness was cured very quickly. That is why the importance of the mouth of the boat is called so that you can master the theory, following the Zhi Neng Qigong theory to think and imagine. This is also very effective and fast. This is the second type of interactive content. Its characteristic is oral communication. The third characteristic is heart communication. What is heart communication? Heart communication is when the teacher thinks. As soon as the teacher thinks internally, it immediately has an effect on the student's body. The teacher uses their intention to think, and as soon as they think, you experience a change. So through intention, they transmit qi to your body. Transmit qi to your body. And it has an effect on you if you are affected by an illness. If the teacher uses their intention to cause you an illness, they transmit that qi to you. If the teacher uses their intention to transmit their practice to you so that you can control it, and you receive the teacher's intention, that is heart-to-heart communication. That is how it is in our Zhi Neng Qigong. That is how it is in our Zhi Neng Qigong. That is how it is. You shouldn't just watch the teacher speak and say, that is how it is. That is how it is. First, sing a song about being firmly rooted between heaven and earth, then transmit qi toward the teacher's head. He transmits qi here. The teacher is not just shouting without meaning. What is he shouting? What does it mean? That is how it is in our Zhi Neng Qigong. The teacher is thinking, transmitting qi toward the head. It's not just speaking. The teacher is genuinely thinking about transmitting qi toward your head. That's how it works. The teacher wants to activate the energy field so that it works. Then you will be able to receive qi, and you will be able to experience changes. This is called transmission of the heart. The teacher is not just talking for the sake of it. If a teacher only speaks but does not think it in their heart, then the teacher is not activating the energy field. They are not following the essence of activating the field. They are not meeting the requirements to activate it. We, the students, must understand that the teachers are not just shouting. Inside, they are thinking and emitting qi. Do you think it can have an effect? It can have an effect when the teacher says something. What they say with their mouth expresses what they think in their heart, so that the students can receive it. Sometimes it is not necessary to say it out loud. It also works without saying it, without speaking but thinking it in the heart. Just by thinking it in the heart, everyone will start to feel the effect. The students ask if they are feeling the effect. You are feeling the effect. What effect are you feeling? What I am thinking is that all the students in the room extend their left hand longer at the same time. Compare your own left hand. Now all your left hands have lengthened. Compare them with your own hands. I am thinking about it right here. I only thought about it for a moment. The left hand lengthens. Compare your own hands and see students. Compare now. Compare quickly now. Just by thinking that the students' left hands lengthen. I didn't say that as soon as you compare it will lengthen. When the teachers organize the practice, it is always like this. This thought must be effective, and then it will be. When the teacher teaches the practice, the teacher who is up there teaching, the teacher who makes the movements, when he makes the movements, it's not just him making them. When he makes the movements, he is thinking of all the students. He covers everyone with his intention, with his qi. He covers all the students in the place with this. Doing Peng Qi Guan Ding Fa. From the beginning, he starts to secretly pull and push, pushing and pulling. Pushing and pulling when he pushes and pulls. He is thinking of the entire group of students in this area. Here his hands are like this, pushing and pulling. Pushing and pulling, this is how he pushes and pulls. With this push and pull, the sensation of qi in his hands is very strong, and he transmits it to the students. The sensation of qi becomes strong among them. With complete relaxation, raising the qi while holding it. It's not just him raising the qi while holding it, a great master. Raising the qi while holding it, this is raising the qi upward. This is called organizing the field for teaching the practice. This is called mental transmission. Mental transmission originally has many movements. Perhaps the students now cannot do it. They don't know how to do it. The master there makes an arch. When he does it, in our rehabilitation department, we generally don't practice Xing Shan Zhuang anymore, practicing Xing Shan Zhuang with dragon head and crane hands. This movement is generally called hitting the head. For example, when doing dragon head and crane hands at 70, doing the crane hands, when doing it, the spine will curve and bend. It will curve and bend, it will bend upward and downward. It will curve and bend doing the dragon head. The spine will curve and bend, it will curve like this and bend like this. At first, students don't know how to do it, but the teacher up there guides with an arc. Guiding like this, if he guides in this way, it moves like this, the teacher moves like this, and leads the field like this. Hey, the spine will start making noise, it will start making noise, the students will start making noise, most of them will start making noise. That is called organizing the field. This is called mental transmission teaching. Mental transmission teaching, that is why our practice relies on mental transmission. That is why our students, when you listen to the teacher teaching Qigong, that teacher is making the movements. The teacher who makes the movements, he is carrying out the movements with this field. The teacher who is speaking, don't think he is only talking. He is also forming this field. While speaking, he is thinking at the same time, speaking, pushing and gathering again, pushing and gathering at the same time, blowing toward the horizon. As soon as he thinks, he extends our field to the horizon and brings it back into the body. He has to think a little and brings it back into the body while he is speaking. You must carry this atmosphere in your speech. The key points he mentions are not just words. They must be internally experienced by oneself. The teacher who teaches Qigong, whether demonstrating the movements or speaking, is very difficult. Right at this point, you have to practice in this way. The students must receive the practice in this way. When the teacher gives a class, a field is formed whenever it is a group activity. A field is formed. So at this moment, you think the teacher is not just speaking, he is forming a field to strengthen your qi, whatever the teacher says. The whole body centered and upright. You say centered and upright, get ready. You have to talk about standing firmly between heaven and earth. Talk about having heaven above your head. The teacher there says, oh, having heaven above your head. Here you think having heaven above your head. The teacher is adding qi to me. Think like this. Your feet pressing into the earth. Your feet pressing downward. The qi moves downward. You think about moving downward. You have to think. Move with this field. Move with this field. That's why the teacher guides like this. Our classmates receive it in this way. In this manner. What is taught and what is learned. They help our Zhi Neng Qigong and the effectiveness of the new group transmission field to manifest very well. They can reflect Zhi Neng Qigong and the particularity of group energy exchange. In the future, when we talk about practicing Qigong well, I will also tell our classmates that they should know how to actively receive the field. I won't talk much about that today. I've only talked about the characteristics of Zhi Neng Qigong energy, exchange, the combined use of the three transmissions. We were just guiding to attract qi. Attracting qi. This itself is also forming a field. Is this used when giving a class? Are we forming a field? Our Zhi Neng Qigong is giving classes by representing and forming a field. Forming a field and representing to teach everyone it's no longer the same. In a moment, I will bring qi to everyone. Everyone has gathered. How do you attract the qi? You also turn it like this. You also feel something. You feel something within the large qi field of our center, but it's not the same as being here today in this class. I teach everyone to practice like this. It's not the same as feeling it on a large scale. What is the reason? Because I am here organizing the field for all of you, adding qi. So the effect is obvious. We all understand that in our Zhi Neng Qigong, within the practice of exchange, there is an effect of organizing the field. There is an effect of organizing the field. Then we can understand why some people cannot move by themselves when pressing. They also don't know how to practice by themselves. They also don't understand our language. That means children 2 or 3 years old. After coming here, their illness is cured. What is the reason? That is because the teachers organize the field. In fact, when the teachers emit external qi, even when emitting qi individually, they also rely on the great qi field of our Zhi Neng Qigong. Because if they didn't rely on the qi field, relying only on their own abilities, they definitely could not complete the task of treating so many serious illnesses. Within traditional Qigong, there are many Qigong masters who have practiced for decades. They don't understand how to organize the field, nor do they know how to do it, if they completely rely on their own abilities to cause illness in others. After suffering from a serious illness themselves, if they cannot treat 2 or 3 people, they will no longer have enough qi to feel well. In our Zhi Neng Qigong, we always treat many patients. One by one, adjusting each one individually, we treat many patients. What is the reason for this? We use Hun Yuan Qi. The method is actually also about forming a field. So in our Zhi Neng Qigong, it is about creating a field. Whoever can use this field well will achieve effective results as students. If you understand this principle, you yourself can also form a field. Roommates can also form a field together. You send me qi, I send you qi, and it can also be effective. You form a field with several companions together, and that is also fine. This field formation is about gathering Hun Yuan Qi here, and drawing down Hun Yuan Qi from heaven and earth, continuously using force to coordinate. Everyone thinks together in the same direction, and then it is gathered into a single layer, forming a collective field. It's that simple. It's that simple. So students, please don't see this field formation as something very mysterious. We are now conducting scientific experiments, carrying out scientific experiments, once you send qi. In fact, the plants grow faster, so what about garlic? And wheat sprouts also grow faster, that is also forming a field. Within a group, several classmates can form it together, or a single classmate can form it. One classmate can lead everyone to form it. Any of these methods is possible. These teachers who teach can form a field. The classmates who have learned can also form a field among themselves. Classmates can focus on each other, right? Of course they can. Didn't I just talk about attracting qi? I just asked garlic if it had qi, garlic said it did. I asked if it had qi, all right, if there is qi, you classmates can. Attract qi, attract qi, attract qi. If he is sick, use your hands to send qi, and it will relieve the condition. See, that's simple. This sending of qi for Zhi Neng Qigong is also very simple. Very easy to do. It is not something exclusive to the teachers if your mind is very firm, and you have an unshakable faith in the formation of external fields of Zhi Neng Qigong. If you speak about what the teacher has said, you can handle it. You can use it. Zhi Neng Qigong does not completely rely on your own qi. To form fields and treat external illnesses, it is mobilizing the Hun Yuan Qi from nature. With what do we mobilize it? We mobilize it with consciousness. Once mobilized, we raise the qi. We bring this qi into our own body for our own health. Or we give it to others. This is called external qi illness. We give it to plants. This is called a scientific experiment. It's that simple. When some people hear me say this, they dare to do it. Would you dare to do it? They are successful. If you don't dare to do it, then there are problems. Speak then, Professor Pang, to practice Qigong. You need to have certain abilities. You need to have Kung Fu. With what you said, how can we do it? Did he say that? We organize classes. We organize classes to teach Qigong. I give classes and teach when I give a class. I have already increased everyone's Kung Fu. If you can accept it, then right away you will have Kung Fu, you will have ability. Can it be that fast? How do you understand this? We didn't say that in the opening ceremony, right? That was also our first lesson. This is advanced, sharp, complex, a completely new science. Our common sense cannot easily understand it. So it is difficult to understand, but we can make an analogy. Let's make an analogy so that everyone can understand and comprehend. Our magnet, the magnet, there are natural magnets. Natural magnets, that magnet, its magnetic molecules are uniformly aligned. Then this common iron, its iron molecules are not uniformly aligned, so when the iron molecules align uniformly, magnetism is produced. The molecules of common iron are all disordered. That is why they do not show magnetism. If you place this common iron near a magnet or touch it with a magnet, then the magnetic field influences it. Done. Suddenly it changes from within. It becomes a magnet. How does it become one? It is because the iron molecules inside that piece of iron, their alignment, becomes uniformly aligned. They become ordered. So in this way, suddenly from having no magnetism, it becomes magnetic. Our field formation is similar to this. That is, originally the classmates have qi in their bodies. All disordered. All disordered, then there is no kung fu. There is no kung fu. But once we form the field, this set of practices, we have formed a qi field. That is, when Master Pang teaches class, a group forms a field centered on Master Pang, a qi field with him as the core. This qi field, this magnetic field, has a great similarity. It is very regular. Inside it are classmates. Upon receiving this qi field, your body becomes gaseous and also becomes orderly. This orderly qi field adds to you. However, people are not like iron. That iron naturally changes. It has no subjective yishi. That iron, once it enters the magnetic field by itself, becomes normal, becomes orderly, aligns uniformly. In people, it is a bit more difficult than in that magnetic iron. Where is the difficulty? The difficulty lies in the fact that we humans have thoughts. We have yishi. Earlier we spoke about Hun Yuan Qi. A person's Hun Yuan Qi is subject to the person's yishi control. If a person has no yishi, a newborn baby, a 1 or 2 year-old child who understands nothing when entering a large qi field, while perceiving the field normal, that child normalizes very easily. It is very easy because it has no yishi. It has no yishi. We with these thoughts. From childhood, after starting school, one gradually begins to think more. When reaching adulthood, thoughts become more complex. Regarding the domain of yishi, regarding the control of yishi, it also becomes more complex and more serious. So whether our qi can synchronize with it once the field is perceived and synchronized is also related to our own yishi. If the teacher perceives the field and you are calm and serene, empty and clear-minded, not thinking about anything, and the teacher perceives the field and says it is good, your mind is good. At that dynamic moment, you synchronize with the teacher. Your qi begins to change. That is why it is like a magnet. Suddenly it becomes orderly. Why is it that some people, during the field reading, as soon as the teacher says that it is good, the impurities dissipate. Those impurities dissipate immediately. When I arrived a moment ago, the deputy director told me that in his last session, you remember that 8 days ago a child arrived with a flow in the tear duct. Such a strong flow in the tear duct, and it quickly disappeared. Why did the child have a flow in the tear duct? The flow in the tear duct is an innate impurity. An innate impurity, they say that it dissolved quickly. What is the reason? Because that child received the qi well. As soon as you say normal, it becomes normal. Intention is very important. Normal, now it is already normal. The most important thing is that we read the field. As soon as you mention it, you already have the ability, but you need to pay attention here. To the patient's family members, you have to be careful, because when our master reads the field, there is a large energy field in the middle. The master says, it's fine, and the dispersed energy dissipates and disappears. The master's intention truly has an effect. The family member's intention also has an effect. If the family members say, the energy dispersed, and the master says, the energy dispersed, it's fine, then the patient's energy dissipates very quickly. The master says the energy dispersed, and the family members say, it dispersed. How can it disperse? How can such a large energy simply disappear? It's fine. Well, this is problematic. The master directs the energy field to disperse, but you say, it cannot disperse. Even if you say it cannot disperse, you think, how can it disperse? In reality, you think it cannot disperse. You think it cannot transform. In that case, you are opposing the master's intention. The master has skill, I don't have skill, but you are closer to the patient than the master is. When you are so close, don't worry. Your information connection with them is very close, much closer than the master's information connection. In fact, in our center, we say that the master treats the patients as if they were family. Why do we say as if they were family? That means they are not actually family, right? Correct. This indicates that the master and the patients are not family, but the master treats the patients as if they were family. Are you still missing a bit of intensity, or what? So you, as a family member, wonder, oh, what do I do now? You are with him 24 hours a day. As soon as the master discovers he has the ability, he improves. It is stronger than your strength. But this way you won't see continuous improvement. It won't get better. If you are stoking the fire 24 hours a day, it won't get better. How is it going to get better? That's why family members must understand this principle. Our chi field begins to function. The chi field begins to function. As we say in Zhi Neng Qigong, energy exchange with a feet on the ground. This is mental transmission. It's not enough to just think about it without saying it out loud. It is mental transmission. If you think it in your mind but don't say it with your mouth, it is not possible for it to improve. You wonder in your mind how to do it, and in your mind, you've already given up. Thinking about it also doesn't help. As soon as you think it, it starts to work. It is mental transmission. That's why we say you must pay attention to family members. There is a reason for this here. What you think in your mind is what you transmit with your intention to that person. You yourself become intimate with them. You have to be able to transmit it to them. When you transmit it to them, you transmit it even more to yourself. They receive what you receive, and even more. That is the idea. So I hope the students understand this issue well. In order to have a clear understanding, then we can be scientific. Based on scientific principles, it is not something simple and common. This is a new science. It is a new science. That is why in the topic of group practice, we can emphasize it especially. In order to take advantage of the field effect, often everyone wants to be well and happy. Very happy. Happy. If you understand mental transmission, you will understand that when you are happy, your family is also happy, the classmates are happy with each other, and the teachers are also happy. This shared mood stimulates each other mutually. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Why do we usually say that it improves in an instant? I will give you a simple answer afterward, teacher Pang. I am fine, this mood is very good, so normally we are this happy. Very good, very good, very good. Good intentions. A good mood are transmitted to each other mutually. I am fine, you are fine. We are all fine, everyone is fine. Everyone is fine. Everyone is fine, but you need to pay attention. Everyone must pay attention. Don't just keep talking non-stop, okay? Okay, think about the person you like already. Without speaking loudly. Think about it in your heart, no problem. In the future, I may not necessarily agree that everyone shout louder, and better I'm fine, so think about just leaving like this. That is not telepathic transmission, in addition to transmission through voice. The stronger the voice, the more powerful the transmission. Not necessarily think about it in your heart. It depends on telepathic transmission. Teachers also rely on telepathic transmission. Think about it in your heart. Think about it with great sincerity. Teachers also think about it with great sincerity. You must also think about it with great sincerity. You are fine, you are fine. Good. So think about it, I am fine. I am fine here, everyone is fine. Just by thinking about it, the whole place is fine in a hasty and confused way. This is how you should think. You must think seriously. Every time you say a sentence, every time you talk about something, it must pass through the heart. Speaking must come from the heart. Think well within yourself. In the past, it was said that practicing Qigong was without intention when we build Qigong. We do not talk about being without intention. We talk about focusing the mind to perform its function. This also applies to staging a scene, and also to practicing Qigong. Focus your mind on thinking and doing. When speaking, when you speak, you definitely cannot say something you do not feel. I am fine. Do not just say it with your mouth. You have to think about what illness I am fine. In my mind, I am fine, think like this. And you also have to keep thinking this repeatedly. Relatives like those over there are fine if there is no problem. Then it is fine, everyone thinks like this, you have a problem. I am fine, I am fine. Think like this, you say, teacher, I can't think. What should I do? I often don't feel well. When you realize you can't think properly, immediately think about changing it. I am fine, I am fine. If there is no problem, then always think like this in your mind. I am fine, I am fine, I am fine. Think that you are fine in your mind. At the moment you realize it, think immediately, I am fine. Done. Your mind is always thinking done. Done. Always thinking this is how the problem is resolved. When to think, I didn't think. I think immediately, don't think like that. Oh, I didn't think at noon today either. What bad luck. I lost half a day. Don't think like that. When I think, how can I not think? I think immediately. Done. Did you notice that you didn't think properly? I immediately thought it through properly. If everyone thinks like this chi field will become stronger. Think about yourself. Think about everyone. This is fine. Our this center, this part, a bit smaller a class. It is a bedroom, always in. Ready. Always thinking, so I hope that, when everyone sees each other upon meeting, it is okay. After saying you are okay, we no longer dare to say that you're okay. I say you are okay, we all say you are okay. You are okay, it is not just saying you are okay, you are okay. That means it is already complete, you are okay. You are okay if I'm okay. Everyone is okay, always think like this all day long. We have come to the center, think like this. Develop the function of consciousness, the chi field is activated. Forming the field. The teachers are forming the field. The students are also forming the field, developing the effectiveness of the field. We also talked about this in the opening ceremony, and we have mentioned it before: uniformity and coordination. Consistent movements. That is also due to the field. We talk about the field when we use the magnet as a metaphor. When we use the magnet as a metaphor, we say that the iron molecules become ordered. Practicing Qigong is also about developing order in the Qi points. Your own orderly practice, the teacher creates a field that helps to organize. The teacher uses intention to help organize we, classmates, all together. We all align ourselves very orderly. A very uniform line. This itself is also an introduction. There is also order, the teacher follows in order. So we do everything in order. This itself helps us to maximize the effectiveness of the field. The form has an order, the movement has an order. All of this enhances the effectiveness of the field. So regarding these matters, I hope the students take them seriously. That is the third important characteristic. The special features of our Zhi Neng Qigong practice emphasize the transmission of the form. Oral transmission and heart transmission. Heart transmission is the main field. It is the main field. The fourth characteristic, which is also the last characteristic today, I will talk about 4 characteristics. It is that after successfully practicing Zhi Neng Qigong, the qi is obtained quickly and is strong and bold. For healing diseases, the effect is fast, the effectiveness is high, and it is also safe and reliable without deviations. In summary, it is that when we practice Zhi Neng Qigong, the results become visible very quickly. The results become visible very quickly with Zhi Neng Qigong. Why do many diseases heal so quickly? The effect is fast, the effect is fast. The reason and mechanism of action have maximized the function of Yishi, have maximized the function of the physical body, have maximized the effectiveness of the field. These 3 functions together will quickly improve. So if you are sick, some patients are cured immediately. Some people are cured in a very short time. What is the reason? The reason I just explained. Hun Yuan Qi acts through consciousness. Once consciousness guides it, it acts very quickly. Some tumors, the master says the tumor must dissolve, and when touching it, the tumor disappears. Some say that hearing must return to normal, and some begin to hear sounds. Those who couldn't walk suddenly stand up and start walking. It can have a very fast effect. The effect is fast and disappears quickly. But even though the effect is fast, there are many people whose illness suddenly disappears. But there are also many comrades who, because the effect is too fast, in their body suddenly does not transform into normal. Then the disease is cured. The disease disappears. But the body must return to normality. There should be a transformation in their body. Some people have a bodily function that transforms and suddenly changes, and with the change they are cured. The handle disappears. With a change it disappears, but some people do not change so quickly internally. He will not change suddenly like that. But their qi field is very strong. When they practice, the movement of qi within their body is also very strong. But in their mind, oh, I have a disease, I have a serious illness. There is a disease in their mind. The thought of illness, the intention is very strong. That yushi reestablishes the illness. But the qi within the body is also very powerful. The qi field of the teachers is also very powerful. So, that illness cannot suddenly disappear. It has not yet transformed into normality. But the teacher's qi The qi of the qi field, the qi from the practice, is also very powerful. What do we do then? That illness is still an illness. It has to leave the human body. How does it leave the human body? By expelling it outward. That is the reaction during practice. I tell the students about the reactions during practice. Our books say that when practicing Zhi Neng Qigong, there are many reactions during practice. Why are there so many? The reactions during practice are a good thing. This statement cannot be said so simply. The reactions during practice mean that the qi inside the human body and the illness have started to interact. But that illness has not yet transformed into normality. It has to leave quickly, be eliminated from inside the human body. This is achieved through different channels to expel. Drain pus, drain blood, drain phlegm. Cloudy urine, blood in urine. Female students have increased discharge. They expel blood clots. Coughing, spitting phlegm, spitting pus, spitting blood. Things like red eyes, swollen eyes, nosebleeds. Pus oozing from the forehead, liquid oozing. Skin eruptions. Foul-smelling sweat, sticky sweat. High fever. And so on. All of this becomes a reaction when practicing. A disease-expelling reaction. Disease-expelling reaction, not all students experience it. Those illnesses are already fixed in the body. But in consciousness, the consciousness of the brain, that illness is not fixed, the second type of illness. Usually there is no reaction. Let's give an example. Some people develop tumors, they develop fibromas. They develop lipomas, a big tumor as big as this, growing around the waist. The master reads it. The tumor must soften. It must dissolve, the tumor must dissolve. When touching it, the tumor has disappeared, the tumor has disappeared. It is called no qi reaction. Why is it called no qi reaction? When the qi field bursts and it starts to act. Normally, if someone has a lipoma, or a fatty tumor, or that kind of tumor, they don't feel much pressure in the head. That yishi and the disease are not connected. Yishi and the disease are not connected. With an impulse, our yishi disperses, and it disperses it from you. But if the illness is serious, and the patient feels a lot of pressure from it, that illness is not well yishi, and the illness are connected. Yishi has fixed the illness. The illness is so strong, and the yishi is so severe, it is too severe, all right. Yishi has connected you to it. At that moment, an impulse of qi arrives to disperse it, then it is not easy to disperse it. Because the master's activity works by guiding the qi with yishi. Your yashi also works by guiding the qi. Your yishi has fixed the illness. So, the illness does not easily disperse. Now it depends on who has more strength. When the master takes action, his strength is very powerful. And your yashi, with your consciousness like this, extend it. Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible, make this illness. The energy fields qi spread out, you can't keep extending it. Get out quickly like this, all at once pulling the intestines outward. It's like dragging the dragon and the blood. It's like dragging the dragon and the blood. Pulling toward the uterus, then it bleeds a lot all at once up to the stomach. And then you vomit outward, pulling toward the lungs. And then you cough up phlegm and blood, that's the idea. The masters snatch that illness away from you in this energy field. They snatch that illness away from you, literally pulling that illness out. This is called the disease expulsion reaction. It acts too quickly. Then you start to practice, slowly practice. For 1 or 2 years today, you practice for a month. It reduces a little, it transforms a little. You practice for 2 months, it transforms a little. You practice for 3 years, 5 years, little by little. Little by little. Then it rarely reacts. If you want to resolve it quickly, then it will react. It's that simple. Reactions when practicing Qigong come in this way. Earlier we talked about reactions when practicing Qigong, but we didn't explain this principle, because before, when we gave classes, the time was quite limited. This time we are speaking to the students in the recovery course, because good students will have reactions. What principle is this? It is that this illness has been present for so many years. Doctors say this illness is difficult to treat. It is very serious. It is close to death. It will never be cured in life. As a doctor, you say, oh, it can no longer be cured. It cannot be cured, always incurable. But even though it cannot be cured, their thinking is very stubborn, and they hold the illness very tightly. It's as if they have been placed under a restriction spell. You have to. As soon as they have that thought, they can no longer bear it. No one can remove that restriction spell. So it is problematic. The great energy field evades outward. You have to remove that restriction spell. Once you do that, Will the head not hurt? It will hurt a lot. That is the idea. The reactions when practicing Qigong are like this. The disease-expelling reactions are like this. It is not that in the future the teachers will also say that the stronger the disease-expelling reactions, the better, the faster, the better, the more, the better. You cannot speak like that. Because there is also an issue of yishi here. There is an issue of yishi some people. Their yishi is very relaxed as soon as they come into contact with Zhi Neng Qigong. As soon as they come into contact with Zhi Neng Qigong, they trust it a lot, and if it is good, then there is no problem. In these cases, the reaction is usually smaller, less frequent. But generally speaking, changing thoughts, changing perceptions is not so simple. It's not just a matter of talking and changing. The issue of thought and perception is not something simple. And if it cannot be changed, there is a very small minority that needs to change. So Professor Peng, what you're saying is not very realistic. Look, there is a child from the army when he was young. He was vaccinated, and he became deaf. He got sick. He also didn't have yishi. How come? When he started practicing, he had a strong reaction. He started to have a high fever. What is the reason? Because at that time, the vaccine caused a reaction, and the information of that disease combined with it, they merged together. Then it needed to expel that original disease. It had to come out quickly. Family members generally have that thought, oh, this disease will never be cured in a lifetime. There is no solution. The doctor says it will not be cured. This consciousness, your consciousness has already left a very deep imprint on this child. You have transmitted your information to him. With this kind of issue, generally, those with a more open mindset, the illness, that illness, no longer has pressure. Second, when practicing Qigong, they have fewer reactions. Oh, even serious illnesses are cured and there are no reactions. And there are no reactions. But when we practice Qigong, because Zhi Neng Qigong has quite fast effects, it also expels that illness more quickly. Our consciousness has not yet transformed, and therefore it also pushes it out. This qi field expands outward. This also causes a reaction of expelling the illness. This is also a characteristic of our Zhi Neng Qigong, a particular feature, because in traditional Qigong, the healing of illnesses is slower. You say that our Qigong, why does it not have illness-expelling reactions? Why is the healing of illnesses slow? Why do symptoms appear slowly? If symptoms appear slowly, then the reactions are milder. The reactions are milder. And furthermore, this illness, as I mentioned before, the more your yishi is burdened. The more burdened the yishi is, the harder it will be to heal. Tumors, malignant tumors, do not heal well. Why? Because of the heavy mental burden malignant tumors owe, they cannot be healed if it is cancer. It cannot be cured, you will die, that's right. That's cyst. If you have a cyst, you will die, that's not true. There are people who had cancer, and they weren't told. They weren't told it was cancer, they continued with the treatment cancer, also had good results when it healed, and they were told it was cancer. Their morale declined, and that was it. It no longer worked, it's the same principle, our main function. Their reaction is closely related to yishi. So classmates, regarding our Zhi Neng Qigong, main function. Zhi Neng Qigong characteristics of the technique, Zhi Neng Qigong theory of Hun Yuan Qi. After understanding, let's look at our reactions when practicing. We must approach it from this height, understand it from this level, deal with it correctly. When you have reactions during practice, you should intensify your practice. Your intention must be firm. When the illness is especially severe, if your own consciousness can believe, can trust, without doubts in your heart, without fear, there is no problem, I will be fine, I can overcome it. If in your mind, oh, what if this is wrong? Has my illness recurred? Has my illness worsened? If you have these thoughts, then you should take less medicine. Whether to take medicine or not, that depends on you. Every question in your heart, without doubts, as long as your confidence does not waver, then you don't need medicine. If you have doubts in your heart, if you feel pressure, if you sense pressure, then take some medicine. This issue must be decided according to your own situation. Don't ask the teacher, teacher, should I take medicine? Teacher. The teacher does not know your inner condition, because you yourself do not know. The pressure in your heart is great. When the pressure in your heart is great, that is fine, it will add to your condition of illness. The first point is I hope the students deal with this in a dialectical way. The teacher will explain further, until you understand. Once you understand the essence of high quality, your confidence will be stable and sufficient. If you have doubts, then you must be flexible. This is what we do in our Zhi Neng Qigong, combined with the content from our rehabilitation department. To provide a complete and simple introduction, we will only present these 4 aspects, that is, 4 aspects in total. I hope the students also combine this with practice to understand it. All our main teachers for each class should address these issues during the discussion. We will expand on this a bit more. Let's expand a bit more. In fact, what I am teaching you today is also part of this discussion. It is also part of this discussion. The discussion using speech to treat illnesses, through tea reading and solving problems through telepathic transmission. It should be understood both theoretically and also feel the effect of qi. Talks are not just simple conversations. They include telepathic transmission and the effect of qi. So students, you must understand these issues. You should understand it this way. I think for today the class will end here. Because our classes always last 2 hours, we have already finished. See you later.